What's happening? My name is Lorren, the King of Spice, and I invented cooking. Today I'm so excited because in honor of Black History Month, I get to share with you the story of my great-grandfather. In the early 1900s, Gene Johnson had a very successful restaurant for over 40 years, and he served the likes of Clark Gable, Lucille Ball, Desi Arnaz, Marilyn Monroe, Fred Astaire. You name a celebrity, and they were there at his restaurants. When they wanted good soul food, they came to the Soul Brothers house, Gene Johnson's. And today I'm going to show you one of his most famous recipes. I call it Keith Lorren's shrimp and grits, Gene Johnson style. All right, so the first step to this is making our grits really nice and creamy. So in this pot, I have 4 cups of hot boiling water, and I'm going to add to it 1 cup of grits. Now, in my humble opinion, and in my family's opinion, you know, a really good ratio for grits is 1 cup of grits to about 6 cups of liquid. So I'm mixing in our grits and I'm whisking it together so that everything is not lumping together or clumping. And that's one of the secrets. So now that the water's boiling, I'm just gonna slowly cook this. So in our bowl, in our pot now, I have 4 cups of hot water, 1 cup of grits. Our other ingredients are going to be smoked Gruyere cheese, butter, cream, and salt. And black pepper. That's it. Simple, creamy, southern style grits. So I'm gonna let this cook slowly. With grits, you need to watch them so that they don't clump together and lump. And just let it do its thing, you know what I'm saying? Now let's get started on our other ingredients. All right, now to make this shrimp and grits, these are the ingredients that we need. This is 2 plum tomatoes, 2 tablespoons of parsley, about 4 garlic cloves, 1 stalk of celery, 1 bell pepper green and 1 bell pepper red, 1 onion, and a 1/4 cup of flour. Now for our aromatics, we're going to be using Keith Lorren's Scotch Bonnet pepper seasoning, and also a little bit of Keith Lorren's seafood seasoning. So the first step is always with any southern dish, we're going to fry up some bacon. So I have my pan nice and hot, and I'm going to fry up about 5 strips of bacon. All right, now I have some Georgia smoked sausage. Some people like to use the Louisiana sausage, but I like to use that southern Georgia smoked sausage. Now, if you go to the store, there's a sausage that has a black dye on it, on the cover. That's the one I like to use. It's called home style. It has a really good flavor. I'm not just saying it because it's black. It has a real good soul taste. You want to have a soul flavor, you got to cook with the Soul Brothers. You know what I'm saying? It's simple as that. So now I'm just cutting our sausage up into nice strips on a diagonal bias. So now let's have a look at our bacon, and this is how we want it. And sometimes this thick cut bacon like this, it may not appear to be very crispy in the pan, but once it cools, it crisps up. And now it's the perfect time to take it out. I don't want it to be too crispy. As you can see that caramelization on there? That's what we're looking for, like that. I don't know if you can see it. So it's done. In this same pan, I'm going to add our sausage. And I'm going to fry it up real nice. There we go. So I'm just going to brown the sausage a little bit. So I just want to brown the sausage up a little bit. I don't want the sausage to be too crispy. I just want to, you know, crisp it up a little bit. So at this point, I'm going to add a little bit of smoked paprika to the sausage, which is going to give it a little bit more flavor and a little bit more color. Just a little bit of smoked paprika. While our sausage is browning, I have 2 pounds of shrimp here, and I'm going to season it. So I'm going to use a lot of Keith Lorren's seafood seasoning, you know, a few spoonfuls. I would say about 2.5 teaspoons. And we want to mix it all up very well. At this point, we want to add a fresh squeeze of lemon juice. And we're going to add a dash of soy sauce. And we're going to let the shrimp marinate while this is cooking. So now our sausage is browned perfectly. It's time to take it out. You see that? You see the caramelization on those? That's exactly what we want. So I'm taking the sausage out. There we go. Oh, and it smells so divine. I wish you could smell it and taste it. You know, if you live closer to me, I would invite you over to come eat, come make you a plate. In about a few minutes, some of my neighbors are gonna come by, and they can just almost smell when the food is done. They come by and have a bowl, and that's what my great-grandfather would do also. He would invite strangers over, and he would feed all kind of people, not just celebrities, but everybody. So this is a lot of oil here. Actually, it's not. To that, I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of unbleached flour. This is about a 1/2 cup of oil in here. So I'm just gonna add this in here. And I'm gonna begin, and look at the beautiful color from that paprika. You see how it changed the color of that oil? That's exactly what we want. We're gonna brown up this flour just a little bit. At this point, I'm gonna add 2 bay leaves, you know, to get everything scented up nicely. And I'm gonna add our allspice. This is about 6 allspice berries here. And I want it to scent the oil. A lot of what we taste is in the oils. And this is a technique that a lot of the African cultures use when they're cooking, scenting the oils. Oh, I can smell it already. I'm sure our cameraman smells it too. So this is browned up just a little bit. You can see the golden color that the flour has. And at this point, I'm gonna add our onion, our bell pepper, our celery, our garlic, and we're gonna add a few dashes of Keith Lorren's Scotch Bonnet hot sauce. Now, Scotch Bonnet is just a beautiful tasting pepper, especially in the form of Keith Lorren's sauce. It doesn't get better than that. It's very aromatic, it's flavorful. You're gonna absolutely love it. And I suggest you go to the website and get it. So, as you can see, I'm browning up the onions just a little bit and the celery, and I'm gonna let it cook and saute. You know it's ready when you start to see it turn a golden brown color. So as you can see, this is done. Look at that. You see how nice and caramelized these onions and peppers are? All that flavor. See that when you flip it over, you see all that? All that's gonna be flavor for your sauce. You see how that bay leaf is nice and toasted? See that? That's what we want. And now we can begin whisking in 2 cups of a quality chicken stock. So I just want to whisk it all together. And I'm going to add our sausage back into our pot. And you can tell, look at that. Can you see the color of that gravy already? You already know that's gonna be good. I would make Gene Johnson proud right now. So now I can add a fresh sprig of thyme and let that cook in there. And to this, we're gonna add a fresh squeeze of lemon juice to balance the flavor. And I'm also gonna add a spoonful of Better Than Bouillon. Now usually, you know, I don't advertise other products unless they're really good. And this is no exception. This really makes the gravy really rich. This is a concentrated chicken stock. So I'm just adding a spoonful of that in there just to make the gravy extra rich and flavorful. And I'm gonna let it all saute and simmer down together. And as you can see, the gravy is getting nice and thick. You see that? That's the flour, the roux that we made earlier, thickening up the gravy. It's gonna be absolutely perfect. So at this point, now we can see that the gravy is thickened. I'm going to add our shrimp, our seasoned shrimp. I want you to stir it all together without breaking up the shrimp. And I want everything to cook together. You see, the shrimp is gonna release the flavor of shrimp into the broth, into the gravy. And it's gonna be so beautiful when it's done. So just make sure everything's coated evenly. We're gonna let it all cook down. See, this is a process that takes time, you know? It's like one of those dishes that you cook nice and slowly to bring all the flavors together. So now that the shrimp is like halfway cooked inside of here, I'm going to taste it. I'm gonna taste that sauce, make sure it's right. It's absolutely delicious. I'm just gonna add a splash more of Keith Lorren's Scotch Bonnet hot sauce for a little heat. A little bit more cracked black pepper. And I'm gonna add a dash of Keith Lorren's seasoned sea salt. And that should do it. We're just gonna let this cook. When the shrimp are done, this dish is done. So since the shrimp is like 80% cooked now, we can add our tomatoes and we can add our parsley. All right, so our grits have been cooking for about 8 minutes. And this is the texture. As you can see, it's nice and thick. Let me pull some up in a spoon for you can see. You see that texture there? Now, it needs to continue cooking. So at this stage, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. So 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. And we're gonna whisk it in. We're gonna make some ultra super creamy Southern style grits. I'm also gonna add a little bit of water, so I'm gonna add another 1.5 cups of water. I'm also gonna add one of my favorite ingredients, butter. I'm gonna add about 1/2 stick of butter. Now you can add more if you like, but we'll start off with that. And here I have some smoked Gruyere cheese, and I'm just going to cut it up. This is about 1/4 pound, and I'm going to stir it into our grits so that it's nice and cheesy and buttery. And at this point, you know, we always have to season everything, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt, kosher sea salt. This is about 1.5 teaspoons. I'm also going to add a little bit of freshly cracked black pepper. You know, just enough for taste and appearance. And we're just going to whisk it all together. We're going to let the cheese slowly melt. We're going to let the grits cook down further. And I'm doing this on a fairly low temperature. And that's pretty much it. We're just gonna let it do its thing and take on the natural flavors. Now, one thing I will say is that at every point you have to taste it. So at this point, I'm gonna taste the grits and see, make sure that it's seasoned, make sure it has enough pepper. I wanna taste that cheese, that butter. Oh, it's really nice. Finally, our shrimp and grits, Gene Johnson style, is finished. You don't have to be an old-time movie star to enjoy it. You can enjoy it right home in your house. So I'm gonna show you the texture. Look at that gravy. Lord have mercy. You see how creamy that is? You see these shrimp, you see those peppers and the onions and all of those seasonings, that Keith Lorren seafood seasoning with the tarragon and dill. Listen, it don't get no better than this. And I know you're gonna have to hire some security because somebody gonna get slapped after eating this dish. I'm serious, it's good. Hide your mamas, hide everybody, hide your grandmas, hide everybody, because I don't want to be responsible for nobody getting slapped. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a generous ladle of our cheesy smoked Gruyere grits, and I'm gonna pile it in the center of our bowl and give a nice foundation. Now I like a lot of grits, so I'm gonna put one more little scoop there. There we go. Next, I'm going to take some of our sausage and shrimp. Smoked paprika, and just give it a generous dollop like that. I'm going to take a little bit of green parsley, and a little bit of crispy bacon. You know, to me, it's so important to pay homage to the people that was before us, like my great-grandfather, Gene Johnson. He set the culinary legacy for our family, and I'm so happy to share these recipes with you. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you visit Stop and Shop grocery store to try some of the spices so you can get that real soul brother taste, if you know what I'm talking about. My name is Lorren, the King of Spice, and I invented cooking. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.